everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Blackbirds Coaches Show, presented by Applebee's. We're on the corner of DeKalb Avenue and Flatbush Extension, across the street from LIU Brooklyn's campus, and we're joined first today by head men's basketball coach Jack Perry. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dan.
It's been a while since we last spoke, but you started off the season expecting a roster to look one way, and it's kind of changed and evolved since then, starting with Nurazana's season-ending injury preseason, and then you go to Julian Boyd and his unfortunate mishap near Christmas, and then you just go down the list, 4 or 5 or 6 different players that have missed time.
Yeah.
How difficult is that to prepare day in and day out in practice, and is the team finally starting to kind of get healthy again now?
Yeah, Dan, we've talked about it so many different times about the frustrations of trying to prepare practice, and then another guy goes down, and we've had so many guys, and we've had times where we had 5, 6 guys in practice, and then somebody else would go down, and assistant coaches go down, and it's really been a wild year with that stuff, and we keep preaching you can only do what you can control, and telling our guys that, and they've done a good job with it, and it's difficult. It's difficult. It's hard to get better. We had such a new roster, losing 5 seniors, that you really needed that practice time in order to get better, and that's been a little bit frustrating. But to their credit, they've done a good job. They've continued to buy in. The guys that are healthy keep working hard every day in practice. They show positive enthusiasm, positive energy, and that's all I can expect from these guys.
One of the guys that has had an opportunity due to some of those injuries is Glenn Fidenga, and he's starting to really come into his own now. He had a great first half against Bryant, and then followed that up with a season-high 15 points and 11 rebounds en route to NEC Co-Rookie of the Week honors. Talk a little bit about what you expected out of him coming in out of the Rock School in Florida, and what can we expect from here on out?
Yeah, well, Glenn's a kid that we ended up taking late last year. He's an athletic kid. He's a big, strong kid with good size for this league, especially. And as all freshman front court guys, he's had trouble with staying on the court due to foul trouble. He's fouled. I don't know how many games he's fouled out of in 15 minutes or less. Part of that is due to how hard he plays, and every day he plays so hard in practice, and it's kind of just trying to figure out, okay, what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, and that's been a big thing with Glenn. And the last 2 games he's done a really good job. I think he's starting to get healthy now. He's you would see him every single day in the trainer's room, and he's got 3 ice bags, one on his shoulder, one on his knee, one on his foot, and you're like, most of the times that's usually a senior that's a 50-year guy that might have all that stuff going on. But as a freshman, he's finally out of rehab. He's been doing a good job. He's doing a better job finishing around the basket. He's a relentless rebounder, and hopefully we can start gaining some consistency with him.
One stat with that rebounding, he leads the team with 31 offensive rebounds in limited play, which speaks to that hard work and effort on the court. Another guy that's really stepped up his game since the new year really is Jarrell Martin. Didn't have his greatest performance against Mount St. Mary's, but had 17 points against Bryant. How has his game evolved since he came in as a freshman?
Evolved is the right word, because he really has. He came in as a kid from the Bronx who we knew can really shoot the basketball, had some ability to put the ball on the floor as well, but he was rail thin, and as he's gotten stronger, he's become even more athletic. And you can really see now that CJ Gardner is gone, he's always kind of backed him up. Now that he's gone, he's had to elevate his game, and I'm proud of Jarrell. He's done a great job as a leader. He knocks down shots with consistency. He's starting to put the ball down the floor and do some things that way as well, and he's gaining confidence. You can kind of see that every single day.
Another home game coming up against Wagner on Thursday. The Seahawks beat you guys a couple weeks ago in Staten Island. What do you have to do to come out on top on Thursday?
Yeah, Wagner's obviously they're the preseason top pick in our league. They have so much athleticism in the front court, and they have some really talented guards as well, between Ortiz and Rivers and Harris. They have some guys, and then the kid Marcus Burton as well. They have some guys that can really put the ball on the floor, and it's twofold. We really got to contain the ball. We did a poor job of containing the ball in the first game. We got to keep them out of the paint. And then we got to do a good job of rebounding the basketball, which is not an easy task. They're a little bit more athletic and longer in the front court positions. But if we can do a good job of containing them in transition, and limiting their second chances, then we'll see. Maybe we'll have a chance to beat them.
Now, we can't go an episode without mentioning the nation's assist leader, Jason Brickman. hit another milestone again this past weekend, 900 career assists. Does anything he does surprise you anymore?
Never has, never will. I mean, you just can go on and on about the kid, and I certainly have over the year, and you just kind of glow when you watch him. He's such a talented kid, and he's such a wonderful kid, and he deserves everything that he gets. I hope that he can continue to do what he's doing and help us, gain a berth and see what happens.
One quick note as we go. We'd like to send a congratulations out to former Blackbird Robert Cole, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame this past Saturday. Cole led the Blackbirds to their first ever NCAA tournament appearance in 1980-81 and finished his career as the all-time leader in scoring, assists, and still holds the career record in steals. So congratulations goes out to Robert Cole. We'll be back with head women's basketball coach Gail Strigler as we continue the Blackbirds Coaches Show presented by Applebee's.
Growing up in Hawaii, my two passions were sports and healthcare. LIU Brooklyn gave me the chance to do both. I am now a 3-time NEC champion and a registered respiratory therapist.
Find out how good you really are. Long Island University.
I needed to hone my skills in marketing. LIU Brooklyn had exactly what I was looking for. Their Office of Career Services even helped me land an internship at Def Jam Records.
Find out how good you really are. Long Island University.
We're back on the Blackbirds Basketball Coaches Show presented by Applebee's. Now we're joined by head women's basketball coach Gail Strigler. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Last night, you guys are coming off a tough loss to St. Francis University, 84-76. Losses are never easy to swallow, but I thought your team played really hard throughout the 40-minute game.
I thought we did too. I mean, it was a good game from start to finish. It was one that people like to watch because it was pressing on both ends, and they've pressed all year. We've been pressing continually more as the season has gone on, and I think both teams pressed for 40 minutes, which made it an exciting game. And considering that the level of intensity of it, I thought it was a well-played game. I think we were just 1 or 2 plays away from having a victory, a couple of free throws here and there, and we could have come away with the win. I think for the most part our team has been playing well. I really do, even though we haven't had a lot of wins. I think ever since Christmas, right before Christmas, when we got our first W, we've been playing pretty well. So it's tough to swallow when you play that well at home and don't get the W.
Leandra Roberts with another big game last night had 23 points on 10 of 14 shooting. She's averaging 19.9 points per game, shooting over 50% from the field in Northeast Conference play. She's really been a rock for you guys all season long.
She has been. Whether they have one person on her, whether they put 2 people on her, she's still finding ways to score because she's a tough matchup. She can score in transition. She can score on the block. She can face up and drive on you, and people have a hard time containing all of those. And I think it's really helped her as of late that some of our other shooters have been able to hit some shots, which they can't kind of clamp down on her as much as they have been. But it's credit to her that she's able to get out there every night and be able to be that solid for us and play that hard, because she takes a lot of effort with 2 people guarding you a lot of times to get that many good shots up and to be able to finish them.
Another player coming on of late is Fanny Cavallo. She had 17 points last night, 8 of 9 shooting, has hit 15 of her last 17 shots over the last 3 games. Is she finally feeling comfortable now on the court in this her second season with the Blackbirds?
Fanny just does her job. She doesn't ever get too high, doesn't get too low about it. I think if you ask her about the game last night, she'd say, oh, it was a good game, but we wish we would have won. She's just a kid that gets the job done every night, but she's definitely more comfortable with it. She understands the system a lot better, and she's continuing to get better. I wish we had her for another year, because it's just one of those things that the more comfortable she feels with it, the more we understand what we need to get out of her as far as what she can give us every night. Makes us a better team, and she's just a great kid.
You spoke about shooters earlier, and one of the shooters that has come on of late is freshman Alicia Myers. She's hit 8 3-pointers over the last 3 games, had her 3rd straight double-digit performance in the scoring column. Talk about how she's adjusted coming over to the United States from Australia.
Well, since she got here, she's had great work ethic, and I think that's helped a lot. She's come in and practiced hard every single day and given effort every single day, and that's what's put her in the starting lineup. I mean, to be honest with you, she may not be overly as talented as some of the other kids, but she just outworks them. She's in the gym every day shooting. She's got a great shooting touch, and when she's confident about her shot and confident about what she's doing, she can shoot with the best of them in the conference. So I think she's gotten a little bit of that confidence that she needed to get. And you know, last night she hit just as many drives as she did shots from the outside. So she is a dual threat, and it definitely helps us because it opens up the inside for Fanny and Cleandra having shooters on the outside.
Alicia, one of 2 Australians on the team. Demi Tomlinson, also a freshman for the Blackbirds. Getting ready for another home game, one of 3 straight coming up for you guys against Bryant on Saturday. Lost a close one up in Rhode Island earlier this season. What is it going to take to beat the Bulldogs?
Well, you know, they're a very good team. There's everybody in our conference, and I'll say it again, if you look at the scores, people are getting upset every single night, and we're right in there with them. I mean, every game is usually a 2 or 4 point game. The Robert Morris game was a little bit more than that, but we had it cut, I think, to 6 with like 2 minutes left. So everybody in our conference is good, and we have to play at a really high level every single night to have an opportunity to beat them. And you know, Bryant at their place is a really tough place to play. We've got to put some pressure on them, try and get some turnovers, make them uncomfortable, because they've really got some great shooters. You know, I think they have one of the top 2 shooting teams in the conference as far as the outside, and then they've got a good inside game with a post player that can really make you alter some of your shots and really is aggressive inside scoring wise. So it's going to have to be a complete team effort for us. We're going to have to hit some outside shots because they're going to clamp down on the inside. They play a zone. We were able to score some points against their zone last time, so hopefully we'll be able to hit some outside shots, get it inside, be able to get some points off of our presses, and it'll be a good game as it was last time.
Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And that'll do it for another edition of the Blackbirds Coaches Show presented by Applebee's. Join us again next time later this season.